of this unit. So the I can statement is, I can use models, prior knowledge of volume, and previously learned strategies to solve word problems involving volume. We're going to be able to do this by doing the essential question and success criteria. The essential question is, how can you use the volume formulas to solve real-world problems? And the success criteria, the first one is separate the figure into two rectangular prisms. Identify the measurements of the length, width, and height of each prism. Use the volume formula to find the volume of each rectangular prism. Add each volume to find the total volume of the original shape. Volume is the number of cubic units needed to fill in a solid figure. Cubic unit is the volume of a cube that measures 1 unit along the edge. A cube is a solid figure with 6 squares. With 6 identical squares as its faces. A rectangular prism is a solid figure with 6 rectangular faces. Unit cube is a cube that measures 1 unit along each edge. Formula: a rule that uses symbols to relate two or more quantities. Okay, after your math notes, go ahead and turn to the Solve and Share in lesson 10.5 and read the problem with me. A school has 2 wings, each of which is a rectangular prism. The school district is planning to install air conditioning in the school and needs to know its volume. What is the volume of the school? Solve this problem any way you choose. So we're going to take what we learned in 10.4 and we're going to transfer it into using it for story problems. So as you can see, there's 2 rectangular shapes right here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this as a shape for 1 wing of the school. Ooh, pardon the drawing. And you're going to use the 50, the 10, and the other 50. So your volume formula for your first shape is going to be 50 times 10 times 50. You're going to erase this now that you have that for the first shape, and you're going to use the second shape. Okay, you're going to use 75 for the length times the width of 57 times the height of 14. So that's a lot of big numbers, so you're going to have to be very careful when you are multiplying to solve this. But we're going to go with the first shape first, and you're going to do 50 times 10. 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 5 is 0. Second row, cross that out. 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 5 is 5. Your answer is 500. But you still have to times it by another 50. So I'm going to take this 500 right here. I'm going to times that by 50. 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 5 is 0, add another 0. 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, so the first area is 25,000. All right, let's go to the second one. The second one is 75 times 57. 7 times 5 is 35, carry the 3. 7 times 7 is 49, plus 3. So that's 52. You're going to add a 0 to move on to the second row. 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 2 is 37. Now add. 5 plus 0 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 5 is 13. Nope, sorry. 12. and carry the 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. So the first portion of that is 4,275. Now you have to times that by your remaining 14. So 4,275 times by 14. 5 times 4 is 20, carry the 2. 7 times 4 is 28. 28 plus 2 is 30, carry the 3. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11, carry the 1. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 is 17. Add a 0 to move on to the second row. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 times 4 is 4. Add that. 0, 5, 8, 9, 5. Okay, so the volume for the second portion of the school is 59,850. The problem asks you, what's the whole school volume? So now you need to add these two numbers. So you're going to set up this problem. Plus 25,000. And this will give you the volume of the entire school. 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 0 is 5. 8 plus 0 is 8. 9 plus 5 is 14. Carry the 1. 5 plus 2 is 7 plus 1 is 8. The volume for the entire school is 84,850 meters. I'm going to do number 1 with you for guided practice. It says, how can you find the volume of the china cabinet? So I'm going to go ahead and cut the china cabinet right here, making this a shape and then the top piece a shape. So the shape number 1 is the bottom portion of the china cabinet. You're going to do 3 for the height, times 4 for the length, times 2 for the width. Now let's cut this. And if you notice, this one's a little bit trickier because it actually doesn't give you that many numbers. So this is where you have to use reasoning skills. You can use 1 as the width. And then you're going to have to figure out, if 3 is the height of right here, and we're cutting that off, you have to do 7 minus 3 to know that this part actually equals 4. Because you're not using this piece, so you have to cut that out. That's why you subtract it. You're only going to use 4 feet out of the whole 7 right here. Okay? And then you need to know what the width, or no, we already figured out the width. Sorry. You need to figure out how wide this piece is right here. And if you look at this part right here, it's the same width. So we can use this 4 right here. So let's find the volume for each piece. You're going to do 4 times 3, which is 12, times 2, which is 24. So the volume of this piece right here is 24. Now let's look at the volume of the second piece. You're going to do 4 times 1, which is 4, times 4 equals 16. You're going to add 24 and 16 together. 6 plus 4 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus another 1 is 4. So the volume of the entire piece is 40 feet. This is the exit ticket in 10-5. Because there's only 2 problems, I want you to try to do them on your own. Remember that you're just trying your best. This is a new concept, so if you don't get it right, it's okay. Mistakes are proof that we are trying. But I want you to go to page 613, and I want you to do problems 6 and 7. Make sure you read the directions very carefully. When you're done, rip it out of your math book, and then turn it into that yellow folder so that we can check it over as teachers. Thank you.